Today, we've got the first look at the new Galaxy Z Flip 6, as well as news of some epic upgrades over its predecessor, so make sure you hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, we've got a report of a camera upgrade, and the Z Flip 6 is seeing an upgrade to a 50 megapixel primary camera up from the predecessor's 12 megapixel, although the new sensor is also going to bin down to 12.5 megapixels in low light conditions. Now it's also getting a battery upgrade from the predecessor, and while it may not be as much as early rumors suggested, due to the regulatory certifications, we now know that the Flip 6 is going to have a 1097 mAh battery as well as a 2887, and this gives us a total rated capacity of 3880, and this means a typical advertised capacity of around 4000. Now next up, we've got the FCC certification for the Z Flip 6, and this means that the phone is going to be launching relatively soon, but it also confirms that the communication hardware of the device, and the certification didn't show support for Wi-Fi 7. Now this, however, is likely down to a firmware restriction, as the Snapdragon chipset does have the necessary hardware for Wi-Fi 7, so this could be enabled at a later date. Now next up, we've got news of a larger and thinner model of both the Fold 6 and the Flip 6, which could be marketed as the Z Flip 6 Slim, but I'm a little skeptical when it comes to the Flip. For the Fold, it makes sense to have a slimmer model with no S Pen support, but when it comes to the Z Flip 6, I just don't see how another model makes any sense at all. It's already a pretty slim and portable phone, and that's why it's been so successful, and I think to release a new model just causes unnecessary confusion. Next up, we've got reports of big upgrades to arguably the most important aspect of the Z Flip 6, and that is of course the display. A new report from the Elect states that the Z Flip 6 is going to be increasing the thickness of the ultra-thin glass used to protect the folding display, and it's going to go from 30 microns to 50 microns, which is a substantial improvement. Now this is not only going to increase the durability of the Flip 6 and allow it to withstand more folds in total, but it's also said to greatly reduce the creasing in the center of the display, which is always great news. Next up, we've got the first look at the design of the Z Flip 6 thanks to a tweet from Roland Quant, who shared with us images of third-party cases. And when it comes to phone designs, the case manufacturers tend to get the information way ahead of time so that they can prepare for the release ahead of it. And this is usually where the accurate information comes from on a phone's design. And you can see from the images we've got here though, that it does fall in line with all of the previous rumors, and it's exactly what we're expecting from the Flip 6, a similar design to the 5, but with plenty of upgrades in hardware. Now unfortunately, we've also got news that the Flip 6 may be more expensive this time around thanks to a new report from Tech Maniacs, and according to the latest report, the Z Flip 6 is going to be launched on the 24th of July to tie in with the Olympics, which Samsung is planning on sponsoring, but it also says that we can expect a $100, €100 or 100 GBP increase on the price compared to last year. And to be fair, that's hardly a surprise given the rising cost of components, but it's certainly not guaranteed, so take this one with a grain of salt for now. But for those excited for the Z Flip 6 though, we're now going to run through the full specs, design, and the expected pricing to help you guys decide which one is right for you. So make sure you hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So with the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6, we get a 6.7-inch foldable 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display. While it's the same size as its predecessor, we're expecting improvements in brightness, color accuracy, and durability. It's coming with a resolution of 1080 by 2640, and it will of course be protected by Samsung's newest ultra-thin glass. There's also going to be less visible creasing in the new foldable display, as well as water and dust resistance. For the external cover display, we get a 120Hz dynamic AMOLED, and it's going to be protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 3. It's going to be a 3.4-inch display with a resolution of 720 by 748, and of course we'll see all the usual improvements like increased brightness and color accuracy, as well as the native app support for the cover display. Now the selfie camera is still unknown at the moment, but it's likely going to be another 10 megapixel camera. Then on the rear, it's a dual camera setup with a 50 megapixel primary camera and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It's going to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in all regions, and it's going to come with 8GB of RAM and up to 512GB storage, and this will of course be UFS 4.1. Now it's coming with around a 3700 mAh battery, and while fast charging is still currently unknown, we're hoping for some improvements to both wired and wireless charging. In terms of connectivity, we get advanced 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7 and ultra-wideband support, and it's of course coming with One UI 6 based on Android 14. It's expected to launch from $1,050 and it's going to launch in August 2024. So overall, the Galaxy Z Flip 6 is another refinement to the series, offering a similar design but some new and improved hardware, as well as plenty of new AI features. Now, the new brighter display alone is going to make the Flip 6 much better for day-to-day use and a much better experience overall, especially when out in the sunlight. And of course, more durability is always a bonus, and if this creasing in the center of the display is noticeably reduced, then it's going to give people a lot more reason to buy it. But given the similarities to the predecessor, I can't imagine anyone with a Flip 5 is going to be rushing for an upgrade, but for anyone with an older Flip or looking to get their first Flip, then it's going to be a great choice. Now, of course, launch is still a couple of months away, but we're no doubt going to get more and more information as we approach it, and I'll be sharing it as soon as it comes in, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.